The National Defense Authorization Act has not helped it. It further has undermined our liberty. Now it's on the books. It's been codified, even though some of these abuses have been going on. At least they had the common sense to know they were illegal and didn't tell us about it. But it's getting that they're so bold, and they put it into the law. And the law now says that the military can arrest any American citizen, no charges made, and held indefinitely, no trial, and they don't even get an attorney and put off a situation. That is not the kind of America that we want to live in, and we have to deal with that. There was one provision in that bill that went to this extent. Unfortunately, it was caught before it was passed. It said that if an American citizen had been arrested and he was a suspect and participant in whatever, and he was tried and found innocent, the government could still hold him indefinitely, and the trial meant nothing. I mean, that is it. But there was a certain senator from Kentucky that got that part of the bill removed. But economically, we can't get back on our feet again if we don't get the money returned to the people, which means that we have to greatly reduce the spending and greatly reduce the taxes. We have to defend it from a moral viewpoint. If you have the moral right to your life and the moral right to your liberty, why don't we have the moral right to keep the fruits of our labors? It's very seductive. Direct taxation is a vicious burden on all of us, but that isn't all. They can borrow money and pass the debt on to another generation, but they also can just print up the money and dilute the money we have, and the people who try to work and save, they get robbed as well. When that happens, countries have done this notoriously many, many times, and every time they do it, they wipe out the middle class. And just look around. What do you think's happened to the middle class in the last 4 years? The prosperity has gone down, the wealth has gone down, the middle class has shrunk, and guess what? There's a characteristic of what happens under these conditions, and the wealth is transferred. It's transferred to a privileged class. And the privileged class are those who benefit from the inflation, those who have influence on Washington, and that's why the lobbyists and the money is so much in control today, and the people have lost control. That is why we need to follow through with this intellectual political revolution that is absolutely necessary. Next topic. That's what I want to talk about. The Fed will be ended. It'll self-destruct in the near future. But the one thing that everybody ought to agree, a lot of people don't go to the extent of ending the Fed. It sounds like a few of you here would end the Fed like I would. But probably 85% of the American people say, audit the Fed and find out what they've been up to for all these years. During the bailout, in these last several years, the Congress created about $1 trillion of bailout money, and they bailed out companies and banks and who knows what. But at least it was on the surface, and at least there was appropriated money. The Fed was involved with $15 trillion of churning credit, bailing out banks, foreign governments, foreign banks, and they're still in the business of it. Bernanke's been to Europe and already guaranteed that he will be available if the banks get into trouble and the banks have bought sovereign debt that's not worth anything like Greek debt. At the same time, our banks are intertwined with the foreign banks, and they've been involved with the derivatives movement, and therefore they say it's necessary. They said if we don't keep bailing them out, there's going to be a depression. But have you ever wondered, maybe they deserve the depression, you don't deserve the depression. I think what we need is a reassurance that freedom really not only is popular, freedom really works, and it brings people together. That's why I think that freedom is so necessary, because freedom and liberty emphasizes the individual. It comes to us as individuals, not because we belong to a group. This is why I do not like to use hyphenated rights. You know, everybody has equal rights, equal access to courts, not because we belong to a group or what we practice or do at all. It's because we're individuals, and everybody should be treated equally.
That's right.
And but But if people understand that, literally we bring people together. First off, there are some people who understand the economic liberties and we have a right to spend our money. So people who want their freedom to spend their money, they're not always the ones that want to protect your right to run your own social life as you choose. So if you bring people together because they want social, religious liberty as well as economic liberty, it should bring everybody together. Not because everybody would use their liberty in the same manner, but we recognize that in religion, people can practice any religion they want as long as they don't hurt people. So when it comes to social issues and religious issues, intellectual issues, it should bring us together. We should all come together to defend liberty, and then we get the chance to use liberty as we so choose.